Counsel to APC says his clients are challenging the verdicts of the Apex Court on the basis of its consequential orders. The Zamfara state government has been called upon to establish tertiary institutions in northern senatorial zone of the state. Senator Marafa loyalists urged Governor Matawale to dump PDP for APC. On business, NNPC begins sales of Made in Nigeria in John Oil. On sport, Real Madrid defeat Barcelona in El-CLASSICO to go top of the La-LIGA. And on the international scene, North Korea fires ballistic missiles amid coronavirus fears. Welcome to Standard Voice Television News. My name is Samira Ibrahim. Now the news in full. Counsel to the APC, Chief Robert Clark's son, said his clients are challenging the verdicts of the Apex Court on the basis of its consequential orders that handed victory to candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Zamfara State, which he said rendered the entire judgment a nullity. The applicant argued that the reliefs the Supreme Court granted in favor of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and its candidate was extraneous to issues that aggrieved members of the APC brought before it for adjudication. In their fresh application, they argued that the consequential orders made by the Apex Court in 5 appeals has made non-parties to the appeal to unjustifiably benefit from the outcome of the appeal, contrary to age-long decided authorities by this same court. Hence, asking these non-parties to reap from where they never saw that the teeming electorate in Zamfara have been unfairly and unjustifiably denied or deprived of their natural or ordinary outcome of the votes cast by them. The Zamfara state government has been called upon to look into the possibility of establishing a higher institution of learning in the Zamfara North Senatorial District, which consists of Kauran Namoda, Birnin Magaji, Zurmi and Shinkafi local government areas. The call was made by Alhaji Aliyu Jibril Guraguri, former APGA candidate for 2019 House of Representatives, while briefing newsmen on Sunday in Gusau, the Zamfara state capital. He said the call became imperative as the Zamfara North Senatorial District does not have a single higher institution of learning in the area. Alhaji Aliyu Jibril Guraguri explained that the move will provide ample opportunities for youth to acquire education within their environments. A non-governmental organization, Ashifa Charity Initiative, has organized a free medical outreach and free hepatitis B screening to 50 orphans. The beneficiaries, who are internally displaced persons, were screened at their school where they are being kept. The place is also being used as their home for 49 of Zamfara at Bungudu local government area of the state. Our correspondent said the school, which is mainly for boys, was established in September 2019 at Bungudu local government area of Zamfara state to help the IDPs who lost their parents at a very tender age. Among the personalities that graced the occasion include the director of the organization, Hajja Maryam Aminu Muhammad, the medical director of the organization, Dr. Muafak Omar, representative of the Emir of Bungudu, the headmistress of the school, Hajja Naja'atu Dahiru, Honorable Nasiru Bello Bungudu, a member of the House of Assembly, among others.
On behalf of myself, first, words cannot express how deeply I appreciate the effort of all of you.
The Zamfara State Chapter of the All Progressives Congress, APC, loyal to Senator Kabiru Garba Marafa, has enjoined Governor Bello Muhammad Matawale to join the APC to consolidate his achievement in the state. This call was made by the State Commissioner for Rural Development, Alhaji Abdullahi Abubakar Tsafi, after a meeting of the party chaired by the State Functional Chairman of the party, Alhaji Siraj Maikatako, held in Tsafi town. The Commissioner commended Matawale's efforts to restore peace to the state within a short period of time as a result of his proactive measures as tackling insecurity in the state. He said Matawale's outstanding leadership qualities has led to the restoration of peace in the state. He said more than 70% of people have returned to their homes after being chased out by bandits. Before his ascension to the coveted seat in the state, a lot of people were being killed on a daily basis, and Matawalle had succeeded in putting a stop to the carnage. Svtv added that Zamfara state will benefit more from federal government, as Matawalle defection will come with a lot of advantages, especially in terms of reaping the federal government project, because there is mutual respect between Governor Matawalle and President Muhammadu Buhari. He said as the Commissioner for Rural Development and Cooperatives, they are planning to provide potable drinking water to at least 50 communities in Svtv local government area alone. This is apart from their plans to empower about 500 women and 500 men. Governor Bello Muhammad Matawalle has received with great shock the passing away of an astute politician and accomplished banker, Alhaji Sani Muhammad, popularly known as Sani Banki, who died on Sunday in Gusau town. Governor Matawalle said the news of his death came to him while he is away on an official assignment, but felt the news as a strong destiny, which all mankind are bound to test. He extolled the virtues of late Alhaji Sani Banki as a honest person, a strong character, and an exemplary fighter to the upcoming generation. Governor Matawalle recalls the laudable contributions of the deceased to the development of healthy politics from professionals who decided to join the game in order to contribute their quota to the development of the then young Zamfara state. While praying for Allah to grant him eternal rest, Governor Matawalle also urged his family to bear the irreparable loss. According to him, the death of Alhaji Sani Banki is not only a loss to his family, but a loss to the entire state as a whole. Alhaji Banki, who passed away after a prolonged illness, was an accomplished banker and a politician of repute. He had his primary school in Freetown, Sierra Leone, before coming back home to attend his secondary school at Government College, Kaduna. He had worked as a banker at Gamji Bank for several years before venturing into politics, where he finally served as a member of the National Assembly representing Gusau and Svtv constituency. Until his dismiss, Alhaji Banki was the chairman of Zamfara State House of Assembly Commission. He died at the age of 67, leaving behind his wife and children. Preparations are on top gear for the full-scale implementation of the ban of street begging by the Kano State government. When Governor Abdullahi Umar GANDUJE visited some TSANGAYA schools in Kiaya town of Bagwai local government area, Kanwa town of Madobi local government, and Bunkure in Bunkure local government area. The visit was as part of the final touch for the full-scale take-up of the banning of street begging in the state. The governor said, begging is banned and will remain banned, and want the beggars to leave begging forever. Governor GANDUJE reiterated his administration's commitment to see to the implementation of ban. He said all arrangements are concluded for seeing that all Al-Madrid schools and Al-Madrids comply with the state policy on free and compulsory education, adding that when they capture these beggars, they take them to these facilities and take good care of them to give them education, feed them, and look after their living condition. Each of the facilities visited by the governor could accommodate thousands of Al-Madrids, and there are 12 similar facilities across some local government areas in the state. Each facility has dormitory, hostels, cafeteria, thousands of toilets, staff quarters, among others. He disclosed that what will be taught in Tsanyawa schools in the spirit of Tsanyawa integration, apart from English and mathematics, Arabic languages will also be taught to children so that they will begin to understand the meaning of the Holy Quran they study under their malams. For total compliance of free and compulsory education, the governor said all out-of-school children must go back to schools. He said over 8,000 teachers have been employed recently that will be sent to such schools. These children will also be given training on skills acquisition so that they will become self-independent. On the TSANGAYA integration system with free education policy, he discloses 3 strategies so far. Firstly, he said those begging on the streets, as we take them off the street, we will take them to those newly established TSANGAYA schools. We take them there, give them Quranic education, English language, mathematics, and Arabic language for them to understand the meaning of what they are reading, the Holy Quran. The second strategy is those that are under their guidance will be enrolled into nearby primary schools and after finishing their primary education, they will take them to secondary schools. While the third strategy is that those with thousands of almajiris will be integrated also into the free and compulsory education system. While at the same time, government will continue to provide the schools with foodstuffs and some amount of logistics for them to take care of the children. Southern and Middle Belt Leaders Forum has enjoined Nigerians to heed the warnings of former leaders General Yakubu Gowon and Chief Olusegun Obasanjo on the restructuring of the country to avoid a war situation following the challenges facing the country. SMBLF observed that it is only those who do not wish the country well that will ignore such statemently call. SMBLF, in a joint statement on Sunday by Yinka Odumakin, General CRU Ikerike, Senator Basi Hanshaw, and Dr. Isuwa Dogo for Southwest, Southeast, South-South and Middle Belt respectively, said the warnings to Nigerians from the two oldest ex-leaders in 2 months to restructure the country and avoid a war situation was not lost on the group. The group said it aligned itself with the warnings by the two leaders, saying that the concern they raised was the core issue at the heart of restructuring calls, adding that the citizens can live together in peace and harmony when the country makes justice and equity the cornerstones of its existence and not what it's described as a union of a horse and the rider that is the other at this time in violation of federal spirit. SMBLF said it is sheer wishful thinking for anybody to assume that the displeasure that various nationalists are feeling over the many attendant inequities for unitary Nigeria can disappear with strong armed tactics and bullying those at receiving ends with terror guns on a rampage around the country. Events around the world in recent years had shown clearly that the force of arms cannot succeed in keeping together any diverse people brought together by historical circumstances but refused to constitute themselves with respect, justice and understanding. The forum advised those in authority now to look beyond what it described as temporary gains of power and heed the advice to set the country, Nigeria, on the path of negotiation, inclusiveness, and a federal constitutional order, warning that a stitch in time, as contained in ancient wisdom, saves 9. The Ministry of Health, Cross River State, said it is making use of town criers and churches as part of the informal channels to enlighten people in the state about coronavirus. The Health Commissioner, Beta Edu, stated this on Saturday while talking about the preparedness of the Cross River State government against the outbreak of the virus around the world. Only one infection has been reported in Nigeria so far. Health officials around the country are stepping up preventive measures to forestall the possible spread of the virus. The Health Commissioner, Mrs. Edu, told Premium Times that her ministry has met with the leadership of the Christian community in the state to have a sensitization message on the coronavirus read out in churches across the state. She said they are also working with the mobilization officers and information officers at the local government areas so they can get town criers out into the various communities to say these things in their local dialects and in Pidgin English. She explained that they are working with both the formal and informal medias in the state to get the people fully sensitized. The commissioner said an isolation center has been set up by the state government at the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital, Calabar. She said the state has developed a system where samples could be sent in for laboratory tests. As part of the federal government's effort to ensure food security and improve local production of goods at competitive prices, President Muhammadu Buhari commissioned Operation Swift Response as a border drill exercise to checkmate the illegal activities of smugglers across the borders. The border drill has been hugely successful and has led to the interception and seizure of large quantities of foods, materials, minerals and petroleum resources illegally trafficked across the borders. The president commended the security agencies for a job well done. He, however, found it disheartening to learn that 295 smuggled petroleum tankers were released without due authorization on 17 December 2019 by some security officials charged with the responsibility of protecting the borders. Subsequent to this act, the National Security Advisor was directed to set up a board of inquiry to investigate the crime, and it was recommended to the President that all officials, civilian and security operatives found to have connived to undermine government efforts should be withdrawn from the border drill and severally sanctioned by their respective organizations. The President has accepted the recommendations and directed the immediate withdrawal and replacement of all those found culpable. He has also directed that their respective organizations should meet immediately appropriate disciplinary actions against them. In a move to stop begging in the streets of Katsina State, Governor Aminu Bello Masari has disclosed plans to formalize the Al-Majri form of education into the formal education system in the state. And Mr. Masari, who made the disclosure while hosting an Islamic organization, Majmur Durgu Rufiya, at the state government, has said the move will take these homeless pupils off the streets. According to the governor, the state government will collaborate with the federal government and other non-governmental organizations in the area of mainstreaming the Al-Majri educational system by taking statistics of the pupils, ascertaining their status, and introducing mathematics and English language lessons. The governor said children sent to Islamic schools from their homes will not benefit from the scheme, but the ones they are targeting are those ones that left their villages and state and found themselves in the schools are the ones for the intervention. The essence is to change the narrative in the state that over 900,000 children are out of school. The governor added that the government will make an assessment from various schools to know those who are not from the state and those that are indigents. President Muhammadu Buhari noted with sadness the recent confirmation of a case of COVID-19 infection in Lagos, Nigeria. This was despite the earnest effort of the government regarding preparedness and response measures put in place in the country's borders and beyond. President Muhammadu Buhari, however, commends the Federal Ministry of Health and other relevant agencies whose diligence and efficiency enabled the case to be detected, diagnosed, and isolated quickly, even while swift measures were taken to identify and follow up on those with whom the index patient came into contact. The President commends the responses of the Federal Ministry of Health and Government of Lagos and Ogun State, as well as other relevant agencies, to the reported incident and calls for vigilance on the part of all citizens and responsible government agencies. President Buhari urges Nigerians not to panic about the news of the first case of COVID-19 in the country, as undue alarm will do us more harm than good. Instead, Nigerians should strictly observe the advisories disseminated by the Ministry of Health, Nigeria Center for Disease Control, and the World Health Organization, who on the best way to prevent infection. We'll be right back after this short commercial break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. On business, over to Aguirita.
Welcome to Business Desk. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC Retail Limited, a subsidiary of NNPC, has launched and commenced the sales of new energy oil brand to serve the demands of Nigerian motorists. The managing director of the company, Billy Okoye, while briefing journalists in Abuja on Sunday, said the new product was made in Nigeria by Nigerians. He named the 6 new high-performance lubricant oil as Natural Diamond, Natural Gold, Natural Super 40, and Natural 2 engine oil, as well as Reho Oils and Renault HD. He said the company sourced the additive for the lubricants from the best additive company in the world, in line with its culture of quality and excellency. The NNPC lubricants were formulated using carefully selected world-class base oil and performances additive to give all year-round excellent performances in normal and rigorous energy working conditions. The managing director said that market intelligence showed that Nigeria were yearning for their own national lubricant, one they can call their own. He explained that most of the problem motorists were having on Nigeria road were as a result of poor maintenance of their engine, and found out that poor maintenance was the result of the lubricants used. We also found out that most lubricants used were not to the satisfaction of Nigerians. He said, as part of efforts as touching the lives of Nigeria, they are introducing this range of NNPC lubricants. Mr. Okoye said that the NNPC lubricant business was conceived many years back, adding that they took time to go into research and came up with the best formulation, quality assurance, quality control processes, field tests, branding and designing, among others, to ensure that they give Nigeria the best of the best lubricants. The product was unveiled on November 28, 2019, as the standard in the industry. After the unveiling, the next step was to go into a series of tests to confirm that what they unveiled was not only marketable, but also usable. Mr. Koye said the products could be available for purchase immediately at the over 600 NNPC retail outlets across the country, accredited dealers and mechanic workshop. And that's all on Business Desk. Until I come your way again, I'm Agua Rita.
On spot, over to Abu Sufyan.
Hello, welcome to the sports segment of the Standard Voice Television News. I am Abu Sufyan Abubakar, and as usual, I bring the sports updates. Real Madrid defeated Barcelona on Sunday night in the El-CLASSICO 2-0 to go top of the La Liga table. The first 45 minutes ended goalless as both teams struggled to find rhythm throughout the opening 45 minutes of the game. Early in the second half, both teams showed promises as both teams threatened to open the scoring. It was not until the 75th minute of the game that Real Madrid scored the opener through Vinicius Jr., the Brazilian youngster, slotting home an easy tap-in after receiving a pass from Toni Kroos. Barcelona dominated the next few minutes and threatened to equalize the goal, but with the late introduction of another Brazilian, Mariano Diaz, Real Madrid were able to double their lead after Mariano counted on a defensive error from Jordi Alba to make it 2-0 in favor of the hosts, with his first touch in the game. This is the first time Real Madrid have won the El-CLASSICO in the Spanish La Liga at Santiago Bernabeu in over 4 years. As a result of the scoreline, Madrid are now on top of the La Liga table with a point ahead of Barcelona. Both teams have been eliminated from the Spanish Copa del Rey, and as a result, we have no involvement in the midweek games. And that's all we have on sports today. Back to the sport room.
And on the international scene. North Korea fired what appeared to be 2 short-range ballistic missiles on Monday, the South military said, weeks after Pyongyang threatened to demonstrate a new strategic weapon and its deadline for Washington to offer sanctions relief expired. The launch was the nuclear-armed North's first for more than 3 months and came as nuclear negotiations with the United States remain at a standstill. The South Joint Chiefs of Staff said the 2 devices were fired eastwards over the sea from the Wonsan area of the east coast and flew 240 kilometers, 150 miles at a maximum altitude of 35 kilometers. They were believed to be short-range ballistic missiles. The Presidential Blue House said South Korea's security ministers expressed strong concern that the North was carrying out actions giving rise to military tensions. Japan's defense ministry said there was no indication of anything coming down in its waters or exclusive economic zone, but added recent repeated launches of ballistic and other missiles by the North Korea are a serious issue. That has been the news from Standard Voice Television. To end the news, a quick look at the major headlines. Counsel to APC says his clients are challenging the verdicts of the Apex Court on the basis of its consequential errors. The Zamfara state government has been called upon to establish tertiary institutions in northern senatorial zone in the state. Senator Marafa loyalists urged Governor Matawalle to dump PDP for APC. on business, NNPC begins sale of made in Nigeria engine oil. And Svtv, Real Madrid defeat Barcelona in El-CLASSICO to go top of the La Liga. And in the international scene, North Korea fires ballistic missiles amid coronavirus fears. That's the news on behalf of the production crew, Head of News and Current Affairs, Ibrahim Garbatu. I am Samira Ibrahim. Wishing you a pleasant time. Keep watching Standard Voice Television News.